Bob the Cigar Guy here, Traveler's Rest, South Carolina, and I am so glad you're here with me. Why? Because I need to smoke a cigar. It's my day off. It's early in the freaking morning. I don't even know what time it is anymore. And I got to knock some reviews out and get some business stuff done with the channel, getting ready for PCA. And I'm like, dude, I really want to smoke a good cigar. I really want to smoke something. What am I going to do? I got to do a Drew Estate video. So let me grab something Drew Estate because Drew Estate's got great, great stuff. And so I grabbed something that as soon as I took it out of the cellophane, I took a sniff of the air and I was just transformed back. I was teleported back to a time where I smelled it straight from the barrels. This is that barrel fermented Pappy Van Winkle, and that Tapanagua from Kentucky. That Mexican standard San Andreas secondary wrapper, that lower wrapper. Nicaraguan binder, isn't it? It is, and the fillers from Nicaragua and USA, Pennsylvania? No, Kentucky. Oh, yeah, I got notes over there. But this, and I got a big one. I had some small ones, but I got a big one because why? Because I do love this cigar. I do. I will not. I'm not gonna cash. I'm not gonna fake it. I'm not gonna pretend. I'm not gonna none of that. I'm just gonna tell you, I love this cigar. I do. Oh my God, the unctuousness, the fullness, the figs, the dates, the dried cranberries, that smokehouse quality. Just I ain't even lit this thing yet, and it's just on my lips, on my lips, on the lips. Oh, it's so good. It is so good, and it's such attention to detail on this cigar, because this cigar goes through a double, I'm going to call it fermentation process, infusion process. I'm going to call it an infusion process, because they harvest the tobacco from Kentucky, they hang it up in the barns, and they set it to smoke. And they set the barn on fire, and it puts smoke, it infuses smoke into the tobacco while it's drying in the drying barn. Then they package that stuff up in bales, and they send it down to the boys down in Louisiana, La Poche Parish, and they stick it in Pappy Van Winkle sloshy barrels, press it down, and ferment it in a Perique process, which gives it a different type of infusion over a year and a half. And that's just this piece right here. This little piece right here, the Tapanagua. Oh my gosh. You know, we do barn smokers every year. We get to go help Drew Estate with barn smokers every year. And in doing that, there's lots of cigars. You ever go to a barn smoker? If you haven't gone to a barn smoker, you need to go. If you ever go to a barn smoker, you've got a plethora of options of cigars. And there are 3 cigars I'm pretty much guaranteed I'm going to be getting a hold to. And this one, the Pappy Van Winkle, I'm going to try to smoke 3 or 4 of them in a day, if I can. My first cigar is almost always a tobacco. Excuse me, whenever it opens. Because I can see my man Josh Roque at the tobacco tent get some cold coffee, some hot coffee, and get me a nice tobacco dulce usually. It's a long day, so I'll start off with something sweet. I'll work on some Pappies. I'll get me some Pappies. I'll work on some Pappies. But then Pappy. I'll see Mark, Ryan, and Emily over the Pappy booth, and we'll chit and chat. Have a good time. Then I'll end up going to the Deadwood tent and get me a couple leather roses. I love me some leather roses. But that Pappy, just something about it. And this cigar is a twofer. It is. You can turn that thing around like this. Light this end, smoke from this end. Make sure you keep that band because it'll unravel if you're not careful. But you do it that way, instead of getting that unctuousness on your lips, it imbues its essence through the tobacco via smoke through the whole cigar, and it just changes the landscape of your reality. It just blows your mind. It makes people like me want to sing even though we can't. Don't worry about a thing, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Oh my gosh, this cigar is so good. The leathers, the smokiness, the ham house smokiness. Those dried cranberries, the dates, that depth. Slight aggression, little bit of black pepper. It's so good. I'm telling you. I know as cigar reviewers, they're supposed to give non-biased reviews. Bull poop. If it is, I'm going to tell you it is. And I love this cigar. This cigar is in my real quick to grab pile. It is. We can't keep them in the studio. We can't. They fly out of here. I was lucky I found a box of these laying around. And I love the story. My first barn smoker was Kentucky, and that's where the tobacco for the Tappanegra comes from. And then a year or two after we started going to barn smokers, we got to go to Louisiana, to the Louisiana barn smoker. I got to experience the Perique process. I fell in love with that. It's one of my dreams to be able to go down there and Mark Ryan's place and work for a day. I mean work. I mean like day laborer work. Move boxes, roll barrels places, sweep floors, just be a part of it. And if I get a chance to put tobacco in a barrel, if I get a chance to put one of these 500-pound jacks on top of these things and jack them down over these huge monster beams, that'd be a dream. Wouldn't even take my camera. Wouldn't want to do an interview. I want to work. I want to put my hands on the tobacco. I want to have my fingers stained for days. But until that day comes, if it ever does, I am satisfied with smoking this Pappy Van Winkle barrel fermented. I hope you have a great day today. I do. I'll see you later. Later, Tater.